What is up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you back to another video. Today, we're going to be starting a new series on the channel, What If Goku Remembered the Saiyans? If you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It is free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Also, if you want to join my Discord server, then there is a link to that in the description of the video. You can talk to me and my community, grind for rolls, hang out, and if you put your art on the Radix channel and 10 people react with a star, it'll get featured at the end of a video. Also, if you want to support me and the channel, then you can become a channel member. There's a link in the description of the video to become one. There are multiple tiers, and each of them give you more and more perks. If you guys enjoy this part and want to see another part to this series, then get this video to 500 likes. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into the first episode of What If Goku Remembered the Saiyans? Deep in the far reaches of space, there was once a planet, home to the mighty warrior race known as Saiyans. This planet was known as Planet Vegeta, and this was where the Saiyan baby Kakarot was born, as the son of the low-class Saiyans Bardock and Gine. One day, Frieza requests all the Saiyans to return to Planet Vegeta, and Bardock realizes Frieza's plan. Frieza wants to bring all the Saiyans to one location in order to wipe out their entire race in one foul swoop. Gine isn't so sure that Bardock is right, but she doesn't want to risk her child's safety. So when Bardock proposes they send Kakarot to a planet called Earth so he is safe, she agrees with the idea. If Bardock is wrong, then they can just go and get him later. So Bardock and Gine send their son Kakarot to Earth, and after his spaceboard crashes into the planet, he is raised by an old man called Son Gohan. The elderly man realizes how rowdy the child is, but more importantly, he realizes the latent potential and power of the child who came from the stars. And now, it's where the big change happens in this timeline. Goku never hits his head, resulting in Goku keeping his few memories of his past. Over time and training with Son Gohan, Goku does eventually get a calmer mind. However, every night, Gohan sees as the boy looks up to the stars, and he always sees the boy outstretch his hand, almost imitating the position he was in when he was sent away from his home. One fateful night, Goku continues his routine of looking at the stars. However, on this night, there is a full moon. Goku's eyes go blank as his father's voice plays in his mind, telling Goku not to look at the full moon, because if he does, he will transform into a raging Muzaru. Son Gohan is inside his home, making some tea, and he hears a roar coming from outside. Gohan runs outside, believing Goku is being attacked by a dinosaur. However, he looks in shock as he sees a giant ape in front of his home. Gohan quickly deduces this is Goku, because of Goku's tail and alien origin. Gohan doesn't want to hurt his adopted grandson, so he mostly avoids Uzaru's attacks, only attacking the ape when it is necessary for his survival. And out of sheer luck and willpower, Gohan survives the night, and the next morning, Goku wakes up, and scared for his grandfather's life, Goku frantically looks around his home, and he finds an exhausted Gohan sipping on a cup of tea. Goku hugs Grandpa Gohan, saying he can't lose anyone else. Gohan hugs the small child back, surprised that the child knew what happened. However, he chuckles, saying he can't get rid of him that easily. We now skip some time. Goku is just walking around, daydreaming, when he hears a blue-haired girl screaming for him to get out of the way. Goku then stops daydreaming as he is about to get hit by a car, and he puts his hands in front of him and he lifts the car above his head. The blue-haired girl then shouts for Goku to put her down. Goku doing this, and then Bulma exits the car, composing herself as she introduces herself as Bulma. Goku not knowing if he should introduce himself with his Saiyan or Earthling name, but he decided it is best for Bulma to call him Goku. Bulma would then ask Goku if he knows where Dragon Ball is. Her radar says there's one close by, so maybe he knows where it is. Not knowing what a Dragon Ball is, but he says Bulma can come with him and they can ask his Grandpa Gohan if he knows about it. Bulma agrees, so Goku leads Bulma to his home, then knocking on the door as Gohan opens it. Grandpa Gohan introduces himself, and then Bulma asks if the old man knows what a Dragon Ball is. If so, does he know where to find one? Grandpa Gohan smiles, telling Bulma to wait there as he goes inside, and he comes back out holding the 4-star Dragon Ball. He found this a long time ago on his travels, but he feels like Bulma would have more use for it than him, so he gives her the ball. Bulma is surprised he just handed over the ball, and asks if Grandpa Gohan actually knows what they do. They can grant any wish. Goku perks up, asking Bulma if that is really true. Bulma says it is just a rumour, but she knows in her gut that it is true. Goku looks back to Grandpa Gohan. Gohan knowing what Goku is thinking, and he continues to smile as he nods. Goku then looks back to Bulma, asking if he can come with her to gather the Dragon Balls. Bulma asking why, and Goku tells Bulma who he really is, and why he wants the wish. Bulma doesn't believe him at first, however when thinking about it, the boy does have a tail, which is quite strange, and Gohan does confirm his story, so even though Bulma does have some doubts in her mind, she does believe Goku. And since his wish seems way more important than hers, she agrees to Goku coming along with her. Goku getting excited as him and Bulma go on their adventure to gather the Dragon Balls. The only major difference being that Goku is a bit stronger, since he had more training with Grandpa Gohan, and he's also smarter and more motivated, because he never hit his head. So this would mean Oolong still interrupts the Pilaf gang's wish, and Goku is disappointed in himself as he looks up into the stars once again. He was going to ask the dragon if his parents were still alive, and if so, then why did they never come back for him? But unfortunately, he couldn't get that wish. Bulma comforts Goku, telling him that it is okay. In a year, they'll be able to make another wish. Goku is somewhat comforted by this notion, but he still wishes he didn't have to wait another year. And he is certainly less optimistic about getting the wish the next time, as something could happen which prevents him from getting the wish again. But for now, Goku and Bulma go their separate ways, and this is where we're going to end off this part. The Red Ribbon Army arc remains mostly the same, other than some minor and some major changes. For one, Goku is strong enough to save Upa's father, however is still defeated by mercenary Tao, so he still climbs Korin's tower to drink from the sacred water. Also, since Goku has more of his Saiyan nature here, he isn't as merciful as he is in canon, meaning when he wipes out the Red Ribbon Army, he is much more thorough than he is in canon, meaning in this timeline, Dr. Gero doesn't survive the destruction of the Red Ribbon Army, thus preventing any android saga in the future of this story, also preventing the creation of the bioandroid known as Cell. The final major difference is, when Goku gets his wish, since Upa's father didn't die, there's no need to revive him, meaning Goku can finally make the wish he has been wanting. Goku summons Shenron, the dragon rising from the Dragon Balls into the sky with a dominating presence. The mighty dragon Shenron tells Goku to state his one true wish, and he shall grant it. Goku looks up at the dragon, his arm shaking in anticipation, as Goku holds his arm still. Goku looks at the dragon, tears in his eyes as he speaks his wish. He asks the dragon if his parents are still alive, and if they are, then why did they never come for him? They promised. He's waited every single day, always holding that hope that they would return, but they never did. Shenron looks at Goku. With no emotion, the dragon states, the Saiyan Kakarot's parents, known as the low-class Saiyans Bardock and Gine, were destroyed, along with the majority of their race, by the tyrannical Space Emperor Lord Frieza. Gine died on the surface of the planet, while Bardock died in space, trying his best to save his planet and his wife, but in the end, it was a futile effort, as his power was insignificant, just like his class ranked him. Goku begins to cry uncontrollably, shouting that Shenron doesn't know what he's talking about. He needs to bring them back. Shenron asks the Saiyan boy if that is his wish. Goku shouting yes, however Shenron says a sentence which completely crushes Goku's dreams. Shenron states, "That is not within my power." Goku slams his fist into the ground, continuing to cry, as he mutters, "Why not?" Shenron says, "There are a number of reasons. The Saiyans Kakarot wishes to revive died more than 10 years ago, which he is not capable of reviving. And even if that wasn't the case, if he was able to revive the two, they would be floating in the abyss of space, and with his infinite knowledge, he knows that Saiyans do not have the ability to survive without oxygen. This meaning, even if he did have the ability to bring them back, they would just die once again." Goku stands up, wiping his tears from his eyes as he looks up at Shenron. With a motivated and determined voice, Goku says that even if Shenron can't bring them back, he will find a way. He will become so strong that he can transcend the rules of life and death himself, and then he will bring them back. Shenron, now being impatient, asks if the boy will ask him a wish that he can grant, but Goku says no, so Shenron returns into the Dragon Balls as they scatter once more. We now head to the King Piccolo saga, and we head to the battle with King Piccolo himself. This time, the battle ending a bit differently, because instead of Goku ending Piccolo with his famous headbutt, he ends King Piccolo with a one-handed Kamehameha. King Piccolo still spitting out an egg before his inevitable demise. This leading to Goku still training under Kami, but this time Goku refuses to have his tail removed because he feels like that would be removing himself from his heritage, and Goku here trains even harder on Kami's lookout, and since he was already stronger than his canon self before his arrival, by the time he faces Piccolo Jr. in the World Martial Arts Tournament, Goku does have an easier time facing Piccolo. Piccolo would also be stronger than his canon self because of Goku being stronger when killing his father, but he isn't strong enough to close the gap between them. He simply doesn't have the same motivation as Goku. And this time, Goku is fully prepared to end Piccolo once and for all, though he does let Piccolo live, the only reason being that he doesn't want to make the Dragon Balls inactive, and as a Saiyan, he does love a great challenge. So we now head to Radix's arrival. Radix having his encounter with Piccolo in a similar fashion to normal, however Piccolo does put up a better fight. This being the same for his encounter with Goku, where Radix still kidnaps Gohan, who was still born, as Goku and Chi-Chi still got married in the World Martial Arts Tournament where Goku faced Piccolo. However, when Radix tells Goku about his heritage, Goku already knew this, and when he finds out Radix is his brother, he implores Radix to join him and live on Earth peacefully. But Radix rejects this, so this leads to Goku and Piccolo having to face Radix together. And this time, when they remove their weighted clothing, a drop of sweat rolls down Radix's face. Goku has a power level of 924, and Piccolo has a power level of 816. That means their combined power level is stronger than Radix. This meaning Radix has to fight much more strategically, and he separates Goku and Piccolo at every chance he gets, so they can't combine their power to defeat him. However, this leads to the same moment as in canon, where Goku sacrifices himself in order to kill Radix. Goku and Radix both lay next to each other on the ground, Goku coughing out blood as he tells Radix he is sorry. He tried to revive their parents with the Dragon Balls, but the wish wasn't granted. Radix tears up, also coughing out blood as he slightly smirks, telling Goku he is a fool. He just gave his comrades a reason to come and destroy his new home. They should arrive in about a year's time. Goku smiles, saying the Earth will be ready, and the two brothers look at each other one final time, as the two die and are sent to Otherworld. Piccolo doesn't decide to take Goku's son Gohan to train him, this being because, in this version of events, Gohan never has that rage moment against Radix, so Piccolo does not see the boy's potential. So while Piccolo goes off to train on his own, Gohan first trains for the first month or two under Master Roshi, and he then trains for the remaining time on Kami's lookout with all the human Z fighters and special training from Kami. The reason for Gohan even training during this time without being forced by Piccolo is because Gohan wants to not only protect his planet while they wait for his father to return, but he also wants to be like his grandfather Bardock that Goku told him about. Goku told him Gohan's grandfather was a proud and powerful Saiyan, far stronger than himself, and he tried to save his entire planet when nobody else would, and Gohan has taken this into heart. He will be that powerful Saiyan who tries to save his planet when nobody else will. We start this video in Otherworld, where Kami and Goku are speaking to King Yama about Goku being able to train on King Kai's planet. However, as they are doing this, Goku sees a very familiar face being restrained by two of King Yama's bodyguards. This is Radix, and as soon as Radix also sees his brother, he explodes his aura, knocking the two guards back as he then rushes straight towards Goku. However, when he finally reaches Goku, instead of attacking him, he hugs his brother. Goku is confused, however he hugs his brother back, and a look of confusion is on King Yama's face. Radix then ends their embrace, and he asks Goku if he really thinks he can bring his parents back to life. Goku, having a determined look on his face, simply nods, and Radix smiles, telling Goku that he will find them in hell, and he will let them know Kakarot still remembers them and is trying to bring them back. Goku says that Radix could come with him and train instead, then he can get brought back to life as well. But King Yama quickly shuts this idea down, saying Radix has committed too many sins to not be sent to hell, let alone train under King Kai. Goku looks down in disappointment, but Radix lifts Goku's head, telling him that they will all be waiting for him. Goku nods, as Radix is transported to hell, and Goku then begins his journey to King Kai's planet. This time, since Goku is over twice as strong and fast as his canon self, he reaches King Kai's planet over twice as fast as he does in canon, meaning he gets even more training under King Kai, which leads to Goku not only getting a greater boost in power, but also getting more time to refine the techniques he learned. This means by the time Goku finishes his training with King Kai, he has a base power level of 19,404, and he can use up to Kaioken times 5 on top of it. Though, he can use Kaioken times 10 at the cost of nearly destroying his body. We now head to Earth, where the Saiyans Vegeta and Nappa finally arrive. Meeting the Earth's warriors in a wasteland, where Vegeta allows Nappa to kill them all. However, even though Nappa can defeat human Z fighters like in canon, when it comes to Piccolo and Gohan, that is a completely different story. Piccolo here has a power level of 5,000, while Gohan has a power level of 2,800. Nappa is able to somewhat contend with Piccolo when they are fighting one-on-one, but even then, Piccolo has the advantage, and when Gohan joins in to help, Nappa begins to lose a lot of ground. However, this begins to enrage the Saiyan brute, increasing Nappa's power, and he begins to focus a bunch of his attacks on the weaker Gohan. And since Piccolo here doesn't have the same relationship with Gohan, and is only really fighting the Saiyans, so there is still a planet left for him to take over, he allows Nappa to do this, leading to Nappa shooting a final attack, which kills Gohan, not even leaving a trace. Goku arrives on the battlefield straight after this, looking around as he sees all his dead friends. Goku turns to Piccolo, asking where Gohan is. He can't sense his energy. A drop of sweat rolls down Piccolo's face, as he tells Goku that Gohan was killed moments before he arrived. Goku looks down, clenching his fist as his body begins to shake. A green aura then begins to engulf Goku as his hair flickers up, and Goku holds his face as his pupils turn yellow, and Goku screams in agony as he accesses the power of a great ape in his humanoid form. Goku accesses Ikari. Piccolo looks shocked as Goku appears in front of him, asking which one of them killed his son. Piccolo points at Nappa, and Goku then chops Piccolo on the neck, knocking him out. He let his son die, and the only reason he doesn't kill Piccolo here and now is because of the Dragon Balls. Goku then glares at Vegeta and Nappa, the two Saiyans looking in amazement and panic. Vegeta then gets Nappa to create a fake moon, so the two transform into great apes, but even that doesn't strike fear into Goku. Nappa is the first one to attack, firing a mouth beam towards Goku, which Goku doesn't even block as the beam hits him head on. The dust then clears, and Goku is unaffected by the attack. Goku then softly muttering, "You killed my son," as he then disappears and reappears behind Nappa. Then, before Nappa can even turn around, Goku fires a point blank Kamehameha, which kills the Saiyan brute instantly. Goku then looks around, trying to find Vegeta, when he finally focuses in on the Saiyan Elite, as Vegeta steps on the unconscious Piccolo, killing him and making the Dragon Balls become inactive. Goku's anger increases to unseen levels as he shouts at Vegeta, calling him a fool, and he rushes towards the Saiyan Prince as the two trade blows. At this stage, Vegeta, in his Great Ape transformation, has a power level of 180,000, while Goku and Ikari has a power level of 194,040. This means Goku does have the advantage in terms of power, however he has far less control than Vegeta does, meaning Vegeta can still contend with Goku and the two have an intense battle. The battle only ending after Goku grabs Vegeta's tail and rips it straight off, reverting Vegeta to his base form. Vegeta is heavily injured and he begins to crawl to his space pod. Goku walking behind the Saiyan as he outstretches his hand and forms a ball of ki. Goku then looks down, crying as he reverts to his base form and he falls to the ground, unconscious, as Vegeta gets in his space pod and leaves the planet. Sometime later, Goku wakes up in a hospital bed, standing up as he is covered in bandages. Goku here isn't anywhere near as injured as he was in canon, but he did still sustain some injuries. Bulma and Krillin then walk into the room, explaining their idea to travel to Namek, as they might have Dragon Balls as well, and since Goku will do anything it takes to revive his son, he obviously agrees to joining them. And when he has more time to think, he wonders if they might have even stronger Dragon Balls than Earth, and if so, then maybe those Dragon Balls could revive his parents as well. But before Goku goes to Namek, he wants a gravity ship to be made, this meaning they have to wait a bit longer before they head to Namek, but eventually, the team of Goku, Krillin and Bulma head to Namek on the gravity ship, and that is where we're going to end off this part. Goku, Krillin and Bulma all arrive on Namek at the same time the original group does in canon. With Goku having a training partner, he would get greater gains than his canon self. However, since he is already stronger and would have to use lower levels of gravity while training with Krillin, I will just give him the same boost he gets in canon. So when Goku arrives on Namek, he has a base power level of 218,295, while Krillin has a base power level of 10,620. Goku replaces Gohan for the events of Namek, meaning he is the one who saves Dende and only doesn't begin a fight with Frieza because reviving his son is more important. He can tell Frieza isn't at full power and he doesn't know that is actually Frieza. Remember, Goku knows Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta thanks to Shenron telling him, so if he knew that was Frieza, he would have attacked him regardless. So the events of Namek continue as per normal, with Goku getting his potential unlocked instead of Gohan, boosting his base power level to over 2.1 million. And that level will only continue to grow, as more of his potential is unlocked. Goku then leaves the Grand Elder Guru's house with a Dragon Ball, and he's confronted by Vegeta, who also has a Dragon Ball. A drop of sweat rolls down the Saiyan Prince's face, as him and Goku stare at each other dead in the eyes. Goku grits his teeth at the sight of Vegeta, one of the two Saiyans who invaded his planet and killed his son. And to make it even worse, they then killed Piccolo, making the Dragon Balls inactive and preventing him from reviving Gohan. Goku's anger boils to the surface, no longer being able to suppress his power as his ki rises tremendously. Vegeta looks in fear. He is still only learning to sense ki, however even with his limited knowledge, he can tell Goku is leagues above him in terms of power. Goku glares at Vegeta, telling the Saiyan Elite that he will regret stepping foot on this planet after what he did. Vegeta begins to panic, knowing he is clearly outmatched and he knows if he tries to fly away, Goku would easily catch him. Goku begins to slowly walk towards Vegeta. A ball of ki in Goku's hand gets larger and larger as he does. Goku then reaches Vegeta, saying this time he won't let him get away. But as he outstretches his hand to end the prince once and for all, both Goku and Vegeta sense 5 strong power levels in the planet's atmosphere, and the two look up into the sky, Vegeta knowing all too well who those 5 strong powers are. The Ginyu Force. Goku glares at Vegeta once again, saying that the prince has escaped death once again. Vegeta looks confused, but Goku simply tells Vegeta to use his head. All the 3 of 4 Scouters were destroyed, which is how they've been going unnoticed this entire time. However, if Frieza requested more of his forces, it would only be logical that Frieza would request that they bring replacement Scouters. And since his power far surpasses the Emperor, he will head straight towards them, meaning Vegeta will have the luxury of fighting the Ginyu Force while he deals with Frieza. He didn't realise who it was before, but he does now know that person he encountered before was Frieza, and he will now do what his father never could, avenge the Saiyan race. Vegeta looks shocked. How was the low-class Saiyan not just strong, but also intelligent? Not even he could have deduced all that. But it doesn't matter. He knows Goku is right, and they are wasting time. Vegeta tells Goku that Frieza has a transformation which may even surpass Goku in strength, so they should wish for himself to be immortal. That way, he can take on Frieza and finally end him once and for all. Goku turns to the prince, Vegeta instantly getting the message and backing down. However, just as he does, Frieza, along with the Ginyu Force arrive. And just after they do, so does Krillin and Dende. Krillin being much stronger than his canon self and ready to help in the fight against the Ginyu Force. Frieza takes a step forward, laughing as he says he is impressed. The monkeys really have grown quite strong now, haven't they? It is a good thing he wiped out their race when he did, otherwise they could have become most annoying. Goku grits his teeth, saying it is time he finished what his father started, and before Frieza can question this, he is kicked in the jaw by Goku and sent flying. Goku chasing in hot pursuit, while Krillin and Vegeta begin to fight the Ginyu Force. Frieza gets enraged. How dare that monkey attack him in such an uncivilized way? And as Goku finally reaches Frieza, he transforms into his final form, knocking the Saiyan back and leaving him in awe. Frieza has now regained his composure, saying that if the monkey decides to kneel, then he may consider letting him join his army. Being his personal little monkey, of course. However, Goku simply smirks, saying if Frieza really thinks he will just give up, then he has another thing coming. He is a proud Saiyan warrior who fights to ease the souls of those Frieza mercilessly killed. He is Kakarot, the son of Bardock, and he will make Frieza atone for his sins. Frieza chuckles, saying he will only need a half of his power, if that is really all the monkey has to offer. But Goku can't help but smile, as he says he is just warming up. The battle between Kaioken x 20 Goku and Frieza then commences. Goku's potential unlock reaching its peak, and this is where things could get crazy. You see, Gohan's potential unlock boosting cannon peaked at a bit over 133 times his original power, while Krillin's peaked at a bit over 42 times. And Goku should get a boost somewhere in the middle of the two, meaning Goku should get a boost of 91 times, meaning Goku's base power level peaks at over 19.1 million. So Goku powers down from Kaioken x 20 to only Kaioken x 10, and he begins to face Frieza, beating the Space Emperor with ease. And even when Frieza goes full power, he still can't even compete with Goku in Kaioken x 10, since that puts Goku at a staggering power level at over 190 million. While the battle between Goku and Frieza rages on, Krillin and Vegeta continue to combat the Ginyu Force. Krillin's potential unlock peaking, and Krillin having a base power level of over 460,000. So while Vegeta sits on the sidelines injured, Krillin easily takes on the entire Ginyu Force at the same time. And this leads to Captain Ginyu attempting to steal Krillin's body. However, out of nowhere, the lifeless body of Frieza is thrown in the way of the body swap. Goku then firing a single blast that wipes out both Frieza and the Ginyu Force in one foul swoop. Goku then walks over to the injured Vegeta on the ground, and he readies himself to finally kill the prince. However, Krillin grabs his arm, telling Goku to let Vegeta live. Goku thinks for a moment, however he still resolves to end Vegeta once and for all, but as he outstretches his hand, he hears a very familiar voice. It is Gohan from King Kai's planet, and just like Krillin, he tells his father to spare Vegeta's life. Goku tears up after hearing his son's voice, remembering why they came to Namek in the first place, and he tells Krillin to quickly grab all the Dragon Balls and bring them to their current location. Goku then looks to Dende, reluctantly telling the Namekian to heal Vegeta. Dende looking worried and asking Goku if he is sure, and Goku nods, telling the boy that if Vegeta tries anything, he will erase him on the spot. He won't hesitate. The child Namekian then fearfully nods as he heals Vegeta, Vegeta standing up as Krillin arrives with all the Dragon Balls. Dende then summons Porunga and asks what they want to wish for. Goku first wishing for Piccolo to be revived in order for the Earth's Dragon Balls to be active, and he then wishes for his son Gohan to be revived as well. With the final wish, Goku wants to wish for everyone on Namek killed by Frieza's forces to be revived. However, Dende says that Porunga can't revive multiple people at once. Goku would then tell Dende to ask Porunga if he has the capability to revive the Saiyans known as Bardock and Gine. Dende doing so, and Porunga stating it is within his power. However, it would take 2 wishes to grant. Goku smiles, now knowing there is a way for his parents to be brought back. But for now, he just revives Chaozu. They can revive the others on Earth, along with the Namekians. Goku, Krillin and Bulma then say goodbye to all the Namekians, as they go on the gravity ship to head back to Earth. Vegeta accompanying them to the annoyance of Goku. However, he knows it is best he can keep his eye on Vegeta anyway. And that is where we're going to end off this part. 1 year after the events of Namek, where the tyrant Frieza was killed along with the notorious Ginyu Force, and son Gohan was revived. Outside of a house in Mount Paozu, son Goku is training his son Gohan, when Bulma and Krillin arrive, with Vegeta and Piccolo along with them. Bulma would ask Goku if he is ready, and Goku nods, then turning to Gohan and saying they will be back soon. Gohan asks his father if he can come with them, and Goku chuckles, saying next time for sure, as he then walks into the gravity ship along with the others. The journey to head to Namek once again now commences, Goku and Vegeta training with one another, while Goku is constantly having the thought of reviving his family on his mind. The gravity ship nears Namek. However, when Goku looks out to see the planet, he realises something strange. He can sense 2 terrifyingly strong power levels and a lot of smaller power levels which he can tell are not Namekian. The ship lands on the planet, the door opening, and then Goku, Vegeta, Krillin and Piccolo all step out, and when they do, they are greeted by the maniacal laughter of 2 figures standing in front of an army of soldiers. Vegeta grits his teeth, as he knows these faces all too well. Cooler and King Cold. Goku glares at the pair of frost demons, asking what they are doing on Namek. King Cold then smirking, as he states that he simply wanted to meet the monkey that killed his weakling of a son. He must admit, he did have a shred of fear for the Saiyan, however seeing him now, it seems like it was for nothing, and the week of training he did with Cooler was pointless. Goku with a slight smile, as he tells Krillin and Piccolo to deal with the fodder and find where the Namekians are being kept. Krillin and Piccolo doing so, as Cooler transformed into his fifth form as a way to intimidate the two Saiyans in front of him. Vegeta then laughs, as he says that Cooler isn't the only one with a transformation. He may no longer have a tail, but he can access the power of a great ape. Cooler looks intrigued, as Vegeta lets out a mighty roar, his aura bursting in green flames as his eyes turn yellow. He figured out how to access Akari during the time between the Namek Saga and now. Goku does the same, as he asks Vegeta which one he wants to take on. Vegeta saying Cooler, so Goku guesses he will have to face King Cold then. The battles between the Saiyans and the Frost Demons commence, and let's just say that the Saiyans are severely outmatched. The training both King Cold and Cooler did for even a singular week just gave them an advantage far too big for a mere 10 times multiplier to match. Even if this multiplier allowed the likes of Goku to be stronger than his canon self in Super Saiyan. Goku would even set Kaioken times 3 on top of Akari, increasing his base power level by 30 times, and even then, he can tell King Cold is simply toying with him. Krillin and Piccolo arrive, Krillin helping Goku while Piccolo helps Vegeta. However, even with the two helping the Saiyans, they only make a very minor difference, meaning King Cold and Cooler still have the severe upper hand. Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo are all lying on the ground, extremely injured and exhausted. Goku no longer being able to main Kaioken on top of Akari. King Cold is gripping Krillin's throat, laughing as this insignificant insect really believed he could change the outcome of this battle. Not even the Namekian, let alone the Saiyans, could hope to compete with them, and this bug dared to stand against them? Pathetic. King Cold then crushes Krillin's throat, Goku staring at Krillin's lifeless corpse as it falls onto the ground. Goku stands up, tears flowing down the Saiyan's face as Goku's pupils explode and his hair turns golden. Goku's transforming into a Super Saiyan while already being in Akari, meaning he is in a berserk state very similar to that of Broly in the Broly movie, and this increases Goku's base power level by 500 times. King Cold smirks, saying it seems the monkey finally revealed its true power. It seems the legend was true. The Super Saiyan. Before King Cold can say another word, he is punched straight in the jaw by Goku and sent crashing into Cooler. The Berserker Saiyan then rushing towards the Frost Demons and begins to fight them with an uncontrollable fury. Piccolo slowly stands up, gripping his arm tightly as he slowly walks over to the unconscious Vegeta. Piccolo then looks over to Goku, realising that Goku may be stronger than he was before, but not only is he out of control, he can see the members of the Cold Clan getting serious, and Goku won't be able to take the pair of them on when that happens. The injured Piccolo then telepathically talks to Dende, telling him to summon Porunga. Dende says if he does that, then King Cold and Cooler might get their wish, but Piccolo tells Dende that they have no other choice. Dende knows Piccolo is right, so he summons Porunga. Piccolo then looking to Goku and seeing him unconscious on the floor. It seems Goku is finally defeated and they are about to finish him off. Piccolo then tells Dende to wish to send Goku and Vegeta to Earth. They are their only hope at defeating the threat in front of them, and if they die here, then this is where it all ends. Dende states his wish to the Eternal Dragon Porunga. Porunga then stating, "The wishes have been granted," and asking what the final wish is. Dende panics, and wishes for Piccolo to also be sent to Earth. Porunga then disappearing, and just after he does, King Cold and Cooler arrive in front of Dende, asking the Namekian what he just did. On Earth, on Kami's lookout, Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo all appear out of thin air. Kami looking in shock as he sees all three of them are near death. A drop of sweat rolls down Kami's face as he shouts for Mr. Popo to quickly get them senzu beans. And while Mr. Popo does this, Kami begins to ponder what monstrosity was able to do this to them on Namek. And this is where we're going to end off this part. On Kami's lookout, both Goku and Vegeta awake on the ground, their eyes opening to the sight of Piccolo arguing with Kami. Goku and Vegeta stand up, asking the pair what the hell is going on, and Kami explains that Namek was destroyed, and not only that, but King Cold and Cooler are now making their way towards the Earth. He believes they will arrive in 2 days. Piccolo demands him and Kami fuse in order to get stronger. However, Kami says that if they do that, there will be no more Dragon Balls. At least as far as they know. So if they fuse, then they can't revive the Namekians or Krillin. Goku begins to tear up at the mention of Krillin's name. It is his fault he couldn't save him. He was too weak. This is the second time someone close to Goku died because he couldn't save them in time. First Gohan, and now Krillin. Kami says that Piccolo informed him on everything that took place on Namek, including Goku, and that new transformation he displayed after Krillin's death. Goku holds his head, and he tries to remember it. He's able to remember transforming, but everything while he was in the form, he has no memory of it whatsoever. Kami says luckily, Goku will have plenty of time to tap back into that form. Goku being confused and saying they only have a day to train. But then Goku stares into Kami's eyes and he realises what Kami means. The hyperbolic time chamber. Vegeta looks confused, asking what the time chamber is, and Kami explains it to him. Vegeta is dumbfounded that such a place exists, but he says they have to use it. He hates to admit it, but it's the only chance they have. Kami says that Goku, Vegeta and Piccolo can all enter the time chamber at the same time. There's only enough food for 2 people in the time chamber. However, Piccolo, much like himself, doesn't need food to survive, because of their Namekian origins. Goku, however, would request Kami packs enough food for 1 more person. Kami then asking Goku why, and Goku tells Kami that he wants Gohan to train with them. He hopes that his son will never have to fight unless he wants to, but he wants Gohan to be strong just in case. He can't risk the chance of his son dying again. Kami nods, telling Goku to go and collect his son. He will fill the chamber with more food while he does. An hour passes, and Goku and Gohan arrive on the lookout once again. Vegeta and Piccolo waiting at the time chamber's entrance, as all 4 of them walk through the doors of the chamber, entering the White Void, where they will be training for the next year. During this time, both Vegeta and Gohan unlock Super Saiyan, and while Vegeta just tries to increase his raw power, believing combining Super Saiyan and Nakari is useless if they lose complete control, Goku and Gohan master Super Saiyan. Goku deciding to do this because he does still want to combine Nakari and Super Saiyan. However, he does realise the flaw of having no control. And since he already mastered Nakari, before he could combine the two effectively, being able to remain completely calm in both transformations in order for him to not lose control when they combine. The year passes, and the 3 Saiyans and Namekian exit the time chamber. Goku and Gohan being in Super Saiyan, while Vegeta is in its base form. He didn't see the point in following Goku's path to get stronger. It seemed completely meaningless to him. The 4 fighters then head to Kami House and begin to explain to Master Roshi the upcoming invasion of Earth, so he should prepare himself. But as they finish doing this, they hear a very sinister voice coming from the TV inside the house. Goku looks enraged as he sees King Cold on the screen and gripping Bulma's throat. It seems the monkeys forgot this little Earth woman of theirs. Now, he would like to have a little chat with the monkey they called Goku. Only him, not that weakling of a Saiyan Prince Vegeta. And if the monkey does not come alone, well then this little friend of theirs will meet the same fate as the bald one on Namek. Vegeta grits his teeth, turning to Goku, but he is gone. Vegeta then looks back at the television screen, and he sees Goku already in front of Cooler and King Cold. Goku glares at Cooler and King Cold. King Cold laughing, as he says he is surprised the monkey actually came alone. It seems the Earth Woman has a few extra moments to live. Goku says he is stronger now, and he will beat them this time. He doesn't need any help. He will take them both on at the same time. King Cold grins at the sight of this monkey's arrogance, as he throws Bulma to the side, readying himself as Cooler does the same. Goku knows his only chance of taking them both on is if he uses Akari as well, but he knows the risk involved. Though, he has no other choice. Goku powers up, letting out a roar as his pupils explode and his power increases massively. Goku going berserk once again, and he rushes at King Cold and Cooler, and begins to brutishly fight the 2 Frost Demons. His power is immense, but his moves are too sluggish and predictable, leading to King Cold and Cooler being able to avoid most of the attacks, and land devastating attacks of their own. The Frost Demons even managing to cut Goku's tail off. However, Goku is too out of control to even realise or care. Goku continues his onslaught of attacks, until he stops in his tracks when he hears Bulma calling out his name. Goku slowly turns to Bulma, his body twitching as he does. He then begins to hear the voices of Gohan and Krillin in his mind, telling him to gain control. Goku then hears one final voice, a voice that sounds familiar to him, even though he can't remember why. It is his father Bardock, telling Goku to avenge them all. Goku's pupils start to form once again, as he's covered in a giant bright light. Vegeta finally arriving, and staring in awe as out of the bright light, Goku appears, his body being covered in red fur, and his hair has changed as well. Goku has accessed Super Saiyan 4. However, for the sake of the story, we're going to call it Primal Super Saiyan. My reason for Goku accessing this, that the Berserk Super Saiyan state both this Goku and Broly from the Broly movie were in, was like the Golden Uzaru. The power of a Great Ape multiplied by that of a Super Saiyan, and completely out of control. They are like complete parallels. So like when Goku gains control of Golden Uzaru in GT, when he gains control of Ikari on top of Super Saiyan here, he unlocks Super Saiyan 4, or Primal Super Saiyan as we're going to call it. King Cold and Cooler look in shock. How has this monkey became so powerful? Goku then appears in front of King Cold, punching a hole straight through his stomach as he coughs out blood. Goku then finishing him off with a single ki blast. Cooler then begins to panic, flying up into the sky as he creates a giant death ball to destroy the planet. Goku then emulating his father Bardock as he fires the same attack Bardock did against Frieza. However, unlike Bardock's attack, Goku's actually works, and overpowers Cooler's death ball, sending Cooler crashing into the sun, and ending their battle once and for all. Vegeta continues to look in shock, as Goku then looks over to Bulma, and grins gleefully. Goku then turns around, and he sees a cameraman, beginning to panic as he realises the cameraman was broadcasting the entire thing. He completely forgot that is how he saw King Cold had Bulma in the first place. The cameraman then slowly walks up to Goku, asking him to tell the world who he is and everything about him. Goku scratching the back of his head nervously, as the whole world waits for an answer. And that is where we're going to end things off. A drop of sweat rolls down Goku's face, dropping out of Primal Super Saiyan because of his inexperience with the transformation. The cameraman then repeats his question, asking who he is. Goku closes his eyes, taking a deep breath, and he then says, "My name is Son Goku, and I'm the one who has saved this planet a number of times. The Red Ribbon Army, King Piccolo, the Saiyans, I was the one who put a stop to them all." And that was a sentence which made Goku and his family the most famous people on the planet. Even Hercule, who had won the previous World Martial Arts tournament, was completely shunned. Being the World Martial Arts champion wasn't special, Goku won that tournament before as well, and if he competed again, he would undoubtedly win. Though, Mr. Satan did still have some supporters, and they believed Mr. Satan was stronger than Goku, petitioning for Goku to compete in the next World Martial Arts tournament so Mr. Satan can prove he's the strongest. Hercule being terrified of this because he knows if he was to actually face Goku, his few supporters would really see what a fraud he is. However, Hercule doesn't show this, and he fakes his confidence that he could beat Goku, also petitioning for Goku to compete simply because Hercule doesn't believe Goku ever would. However, many years later, Goku finally does. The press was never able to find Goku's home in Mount Paozu, meaning him and his family were able to live peacefully for a long time. However, with Gohan going to public school, it was very difficult for him to avoid the press. But luckily, since he doesn't have to hide his abilities, he can easily just fly over them. For the first time in years, the world sees their saviour Goku once again entering the World Martial Arts Tournament, along with the other Z fighters as they all want to test their power. So the same people as normal join the World Martial Arts Tournament, other than Android 18, who doesn't exist in this timeline. Gohan still trained for Del a bit before the tournament, and their relationship remains the same, even though Mr. Satan resents Goku for stealing his fame and glory. The fights up until Gohan vs Kibito remain the same, other than Goten actually beating Trunks in the Kids division, because he is stronger because he trained with Goku. Gohan still has Super Saiyan 2 because he accessed it during the time skip, and he did keep up with his training thanks to his father remaining alive, which means he is a bit stronger than his canon self. However, not strong enough to break out of Supreme Kai's telekinesis. So Spopovich and Yami still steal Gohan's energy, and then proceed to return to their master Bobby with the stolen energy. The same group as normal follow the Martian servants. The crowd at the World Martial Arts Tournament cheering Goku on as he flies away to undoubtedly save them once again. The events of Bobby's ship remain the same, however since Goku never died, Vegeta never lets Bobby control him and become a Martian. He's been able to fight Goku on multiple occasions, and he even attained Primal Super Saiyan much like Goku, so he is satisfied with his own power. And since Gohan is stronger, this means Gohan defeats Deborah. However, because Gohan was strong to begin with, him finishing off Dabura gives just enough energy for Buu to be unleashed. Bobbidi laughs as the pink creature known as Majin Buu exits the egg he was sealed in. Bobbidi then commanding Buu to attack the Saiyans and the Supreme Kai, and Buu deciding to do so only because he thinks it will be fun. He doesn't really care that he was commanded to do so. Buu rushes at Vegeta first, Vegeta transforming into Primal Super Saiyan and catching a punch from Buu, then punching the Majin away and firing a big bang attack at the pink monster, seemingly killing Buu only for him to regenerate seconds later. Goku and Vegeta look at each other, Goku now being in Primal Super Saiyan as they both jump back and begin to power up beam attacks. Gohan in Super Saiyan 2 then jumps in to fight Buu, surprising even Goku as he shouts Kaioken, and he begins to use a flurry of attacks in order to distract the Majin from Goku and Vegeta. Gohan never had a need to use it, but when he was on King Kai's planet, he did learn the Kaioken, and now he's using it to fight Buu, even if it will destroy his body. And luckily, Gohan's distraction works thanks to Buu's short attention span, and he begins to take on Gohan, but Bobbidi shouts for Buu to not lose his focus. Kill the Supreme Kai and those other two Saiyans. Buu doesn't like being told what to do though, so he proceeds to fire a singular ki blast at Bobbidi, which kills the wizard instantly. Buu then continues to fight Gohan. Gohan overpowering Buu and not only dealing a lot of damage, but he's also able to dodge a lot of Buu's attacks, which greatly aggravates the Majin, and eventually, Gohan kicks Buu into the ground. Jumping back, as Goku, still charging his attack, would quickly shout for Supreme Kai to paralyze Buu. The Supreme Kai doing so, although he knows he will only be able to do it for a second or two. But this is when Gohan stands behind the Supreme Kai, being in base form, and putting his hand on his back, and pouring all of his energy into the Supreme Kai, which allows him to hold Buu there for much longer. Goku and Vegeta finally fire their attacks. Goku with a ×10 Kamehameha, and Vegeta with a Gamma Burst Flash. The two beams combining into a ×10 Gamma Kamehameha, and they hit Buu head on, the Majin screaming as he is atomized by the attack. There's nothing remaining for him to regenerate from. Goku and Vegeta revert to their base form, heavily exhausted as the two look to Gohan and Supreme Kai and smile. Goku and Vegeta then looking up as they see a helicopter which has yet again filmed their battle. Vegeta laughs, saying it seems they had an audience, but Goku seriously states that they endangered themselves by coming here. They could have died if we didn't defeat Buu, or if Buu just randomly attacked them while we were charging our attacks. Vegeta knows this, but he tells Goku that he isn't the one that needs to be told that. Everyone then heads back to the World Martial Arts Tournament, the crowd cheering as they see their saviour Goku and his friends. However, Goku grabs a microphone and tells everyone to quiet down. He then goes on to say that his life is a dangerous one. Trying to follow him around, film his battles, that could cause innocent people to die. And he doesn't want that. He also doesn't want fame. He just wants his family to enjoy a peaceful and quiet life. Now, he wants to finish this tournament, and then he wants everyone to leave his family alone. The tone has now become somber. However, most of the people in the crowd understand Goku's thought process, and they respect that. There are still the majority who still will not listen to Goku, but at least there are less people now. The World Martial Arts Tournament continues, Goku eventually winning since he barely pulls a win over Vegeta, and he is able to beat Gohan because he is extremely exhausted from using Super Saiyan 2 Kaioken. So the tournament has now come to an end, and all of the Z fighters say goodbye to each other as they start heading off, but Supreme Kai quickly stops Gohan, Vegeta and Goku, then offering one of them to come to his world and train under him. But while Goku and Vegeta decline, Gohan would actually accept this. Only on weekends though, Supreme Kai would say that is fine, and he will find Gohan when he is ready. But before the Supreme Kai then teleports away, Goku asks him for a quick favour. The Supreme Kai obviously accepting this, since they just helped destroy Majin Buu, so Goku asks the Supreme Kai to bring him to New Namek. New Namek being made after King Cold and Cooler had previously destroyed the old Namek. Supreme Kai would accept this request, telling Goku to hold on as him and Goku then Kai to Namek. All of the Namekians welcome Goku, as he asks them for the Dragon Balls, and the Namekians obviously allow Goku to retrieve them, and after he does, he summons Porunga, seeing the dragon for the first time in years. Porunga tells Goku to state his wishes, and he wishes for Bardock, Gine and Radix to all be revived and teleported to his current location. And that is where we're going to end off this part. This video begins in Battle of Gods. Bardock, Genie and Radix have all become accustomed to Earth over this time, and they now have a home next to Goku and Chi-Chi's home in Mount Paozu. Goku even taught Radix and Bardock how to transform into Akari and even Super Saiyan. However, they are having trouble combining the two transformations, as they have not yet mastered Super Saiyan. Beerus wakes up, and has the premonition of the Super Saiyan God as per usual. However, when he asks Whis where all the Saiyans are, Whis points out there's actually a Saiyan training under the Supreme Kai on his world. Beerus finds this intriguing, believing they may be the Super Saiyan God, so he tells Whis to take him there. On the world of the Kais, Gohan is training in his ultimate form, which he acquired from the Elder Kai after accidentally breaking the Z-Sword some time ago. Gohan is learning the techniques of the Supreme Kais, practically being an apprentice Kai, however just without the title. A beam of light then hits the planet behind Gohan. Gohan turning around, and he sees a purple cat and a tall blue man walk out of the beam of light. Beerus introduces himself, and Gohan kneels out of respect. The Supreme Kai informed him about Beerus and his status as the God of Destruction. Beerus appreciates the Saiyan paying him respect, however he says he isn't here for formalities. He is here for the Super Saiyan God. Gohan is confused, not knowing what that is, but Beerus hypothesizes that Gohan may already be a Super Saiyan God without realizing it, so he challenges the Saiyan to a battle. Gohan knows it isn't wise to refuse Lord Beerus, so he accepts, powering up to his fullest and ultimate, and he begins to battle the god. Gohan here being at least as strong as his Tournament of Power self, at a low ball. Bear in mind, Gohan has always kept up with his training, and has been training with Ultimate for a couple of years. Beerus is impressed with the Half Saiyan, commending his power, however he can tell that he isn't the Super Saiyan God, so with a chop to the back of Gohan's neck, he is knocked out, and Beerus and Whis then head to Earth to meet the other Saiyans. Goku and Vegeta are talking at Bulma's birthday party, when all of a sudden, Beerus and Whis arrive. Beerus demanding to fight the Super Saiyan God. Goku and Vegeta also don't know what this is, as they individually fight Beerus in Primal Super Saiyan, and just like Gohan before them, they lose, and they don't put up nearly as good of a fight as Gohan did. Goku would then have the idea of summoning Shenron to ask about the Super Saiyan God, and he would do so, Shenron explaining the Super Saiyan God ritual as per normal, and there are more than enough Saiyans to perform it, so Goku becomes the Super Saiyan God and fights Beerus. Their battle ending as it does in canon, Beerus even stating that the Hybrid Saiyan was still stronger, and sometime later, both Goku and Vegeta would begin their training under Whis on Beerus' world, while Bardock and Raditz train with Gohan whenever he's on Earth, because as far as they know, Gohan is still the strongest Saiyan alive. Now, here's where we have another custom arc. You see, instead of Resurrection F, we will have a brand new arc called Cooler's Revenge. You see, all the way back when Goku became a Primal Super Saiyan for the first time and defeated King Cold and Cooler, yes, he completely obliterated King Cold, but when he was finishing off Cooler, he threw him into the sun. And here we find out Cooler actually survived this, and was found by the Big Getty Star, meaning he becomes Metal Cooler. However, this Metal Cooler actually does training, and instead of the Big Getty Star and Metal Cooler going after New Namek, they go after Earth. And when they do, they are met by Gohan, Piccolo, Bardock, Raditz, along with the human Z fighters. Gohan steps forward, being in his ultimate form, as he tells the others to let him handle this. Gohan then dashes at Cooler, hitting Cooler in the chest with a powerful punch, but to Gohan's shock, Cooler survives. He is greatly injured by the attack, however Gohan looks in horror as all of Cooler's injuries heal. An army of Metal Coolers then stand behind the first one. Gohan clenching his fist, and having a determined look on his face. Gohan then shouts for Krillin to go to Bulma, and get him to contact Whis. He isn't sure if they can handle this without Goku and Vegeta. Krillin nods, quickly flying away, and then all the Z fighters ready themselves. Bardock and Raditz becoming Super Saiyans, and then the two sides rush towards each other. On Beerus' world, Goku and Vegeta exit Whis' staff, breathing heavily as they are completely exhausted. Whis then realises Bulma is calling him, so he answers the call on his staff, and Bulma screams for Goku and Vegeta to go to Earth quickly, but since Goku doesn't have instant transmission, they can't just instantly teleport there. So Whis takes him to Earth, Beerus coming along as well, because he is hungry, and we head back to Earth where things are completely out of control. Bardock and Raditz are both golden grey tapes, and they are completely out of control. Hordes of Metal Coolers are being smacked away by them, and Gohan is fighting hundreds of Metal Coolers alone, and he is losing ground. He is taking too much damage, and it seems whatever he does, the metal coolers just keep getting stronger. Gohan still has one trump card. He has no idea if it will work, but not knowing when Goku and Vegeta will arrive, he has no other choice. Gohan bursts his aura, sending all of the coolers surrounding him flying, and then Gohan begins to power up. His aura turning red as he shouts, Kaioken times 20! Gohan is now using Kaioken on top of Ultimate, and this gives him the boost in power he needs. Gohan begins to effortlessly deal with the metal coolers, even with hundreds of them attacking him at the same time. Goku, Vegeta, Whis and Beerus then arrive, Beerus yawning and telling them to hurry up and clean this mess up, while him and Whis go to Bulma to get some food. Goku and Vegeta then look around, seeing all of the metal coolers, and they see the two golden apes ravaging the area. Goku then sees Gohan easily dealing with the coolers, and he realises he's using Kaioken on top of Ultimate. That gives Goku an idea, however that is for another time. Vegeta then taps Goku's shoulder, pointing towards an area where Piccolo, along with all the human Z-Fighters, are struggling to hold off the metal coolers they are facing. Vegeta tells Goku he will help them, but Goku needs to finish the job, permanently this time. Goku nods as Vegeta flies off, and Goku then begins to fly towards the Big Yeti Star's core. Goku arriving in the core, and coming face to face with Cooler's true form. Goku transformed into his newly acquired Super Saiyan Blue form, and begins to combat Cooler, however he simply isn't strong enough to finish him alone. But luckily, he doesn't have to, as Gohan arrives, still using Ultimate Kaioken, and he works alongside his father to destroy Cooler's core, using a father-son Kamehameha to finish him off, and completely destroy the Big Yeti Star. So in the last video, Cooler arrived, being powered by the Big Yeti Star, and attempted to get his revenge on the Saiyan who had once defeated him. However, with the combined effort of Goku and Gohan, Cooler was defeated once again, and this time was killed permanently. We now head to the Tournament of Destroyer arc, which remains mostly the same, since Bardock or Radix wouldn't have surpassed Piccolo in terms of power, meaning they wouldn't be on the team. Gohan would actually participate in the tournament, replacing Manuka as he is currently the strongest Z-Fighter. However, he wouldn't even get the chance to take part, since when Goku freezes him Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, he actually beats the Universe 6 assassin, meaning Universe 7 wins the tournament, and Goku would become friends with Zeno just like normal. The Goku Black arc would never happen, since there was no future timeline or time travel in this version of events, so even though Zamasu was disgusted at the mortals imitating the gods, he does not act on this, meaning we head all the way to the Tournament of Power. The Universe 7 team, consisting of Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, Master Roshi, Bardock, and Raditz. Bardock and Raditz, who had the Super Saiyan God ritual performed on them, and with some help from Whis, they found Broly and Paragus on Vampa, and after explaining the situation, and saying they will be taken to a more hospitable planet after the tournament, Broly also joined the team. Broly would stick with Goku. Goku telling Broly to watch him fight so he can learn, but when Kale goes berserk and tries to attack Goku, Broly gets enraged and accesses Ikari, beginning to combat the Berserk Universe 6 Saiyan woman. And even though both of the Saiyans are berserk, Broly seems to slowly begin to gain control of the transformation. However, before he can control it properly, the fight is stopped by Jiren, who jumps in and attempts to eliminate both Kale and Broly. Kale being narrowly saved by Hit, and Broly being narrowly saved by Piccolo, by extending his arms to bring him back into the arena. Goku and Jiren would have their battle as per normal. Goku's strength gain compared to his canon self isn't significant enough to change the outcome of their first encounter, so Goku would unlock Ultra Instinct Omen as per usual, and would be defeated by Jiren. Broly didn't intervene since Goku wanted to fight Jiren alone, but now, he's heavily injured and exhausted. Broly is the one who gives him some energy, and Goku is shocked, as all of his energy is completely restored. Goku would get worried, thinking that Broly gave him too much energy. However, he sees Broly's completely fine. Goku really doesn't understand how much energy Broly has. Goku and Broly would then go on to face Kale and Caulifla for a second time. Broly and Kale fighting, while Goku and Caulifla do the same. Broly and Kale both have more control over their power now, which makes their battle much less chaotic. However, since it took the combination of Kale and Caulifla to combat a canon Goku who is exhausted, Kale and Caulifla here simply aren't going to win against a full stamina Goku and an Ikari Broly, so they are forced into fusing much sooner. But instead of the two taking Kefla on, Gohan jumps in, using Kaioken on top of his ultimate form, and they tells him to leave Kefla to him. Goku wants to refute this, but Gohan looks at him sternly, telling him he's got this. Goku and Broly then go off, as Gohan fights against Kefla, pushing her into Super Saiyan 2, where they seem to be evenly matched. Gohan then jumps back, beginning to power up a full power Kamehameha, as Kefla powers up a beam of her own. Kefla then fires her beam, but Gohan then uses the Kai Kai to appear behind Kefla, before unleashing his full power Kamehameha, hitting Kefla directly and knocking her out of the arena. Kefla defusing as she is eliminated. We now head to Super Saiyan God Bardock and Radix fighting against Dispo, being easily outpaced by the Pride Trooper and completely outmatched. However, when Gohan arrives to help them, Dispo is easily eliminated. Gohan then going on to face Toppo, while Bardock and Radix go to help Goku, Vegeta and Broly take on Jiren. Jiren is still overpowering his opponents, however it's just getting annoying having to face so many opponents at once, so he begins to pick them off one by one. Starting with Bardock and Raditz, and he then sends a powerful wave to wipe out the heavily weakened Goku and Vegeta, but Broly jumps in the way and uses all of his power to try and hold off the blast. Broly looks to his teacher Goku, smirking as he is engulfed by the wave, and there's a powerful explosion. Vegeta then takes one final stand against Jiren and gets eliminated, giving Goku the last of his energy, and Goku would begin to face Jiren alone. Tapping into Ultra Instinct Omen once again, and even accessing an even greater power, Mastered Ultra Instinct. And that fight remains mostly the same, with the only difference being, we see Gohan in Ultimate Kaioken fighting a God of Destruction Toppo in the background, and as Goku falls out of Mastered Ultra Instinct, Gohan defeats Toppo. Jiren smacks the injured Goku away, nearly out of the ring, before Gohan jumps in and saves him. Gohan would then step up to face Jiren alone. However, before he does, a large green light appears behind the Pride Trooper. Just like Goku and Vegeta, Broly has been pushed to break his limits against Jiren, and has become a Super Saiyan. Broly is completely out of control, and he begins to fight the weakened Jiren, and he absolutely demolishes the Universe 11 warrior. Jiren has very little energy left, and even after gaining a boost from Toppo's motivation, it isn't enough. Broly knocks Jiren out of the ring, and Universe 7 wins the tournament, but Broly is still out of control, and rushes towards Gohan. Gohan going into Ultimate Kaioken, and goes to do the same, however the Grand Priest appears between them, chopping Broly on the neck, and knocking him out. Gohan is crowned the MVP, and gets to make the wish on the Super Dragon Balls, making the wish to restore all the universes, much like Android 17, and the Tournament of Power comes to an end. The Broly movie wouldn't take place, since Frieza is dead, and Broly is already a part of the Z Fighters. Him and Paragus now living on Earth, and even though Paragus hates Vegeta, he knows Broly won't want to betray his new friends by attacking Vegeta, so over time, he has to learn to at least tolerate Vegeta. The Moro arc would end on Namek, with an Ultimate Kaioken Gohan being far stronger than Moro in terms of strength, and also being able to use his magic he learnt from the Supreme Kai to nullify Moro's. So Gohan would finish off the old Goat Wizard before he can cause much destruction. And since the Granola arc isn't finished yet, I won't be covering that arc, so this is where we're going to end off this series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to like, comment, and please do subscribe. It is quick and easy to do. With all of that out of the way, hope to see you all in the next video.